Well, hello there, Apple Bites. This is your Apple Bite Raphael Tavares talking to you straight from Terrificon, because you know this con is terrific. And we are talking with...
my name is D.W. Kann. Thank you for having me on. I appreciate it. Love being here at Terrificon. It's always a good time.
I have to say, I was passing by 3 different times because it caught my attention. Then I was like, oh, that was interesting, and that was interesting. And I was like, I got to talk to this guy. And when I started talking to you and I saw that it was about Lovecraft PI, paranormal investigator, I was like, dude, this is right down my alley. I love detectives. I love detective noir. And then as I found out more stuff from you, I was like, dude, I gotta have this guy on the show. And then I was like, hey, why not do a little interview with him here at the show, at Terrificon, and let you people know out there exactly what we have here. So tell the people who you are. Well, we know the name.
Right.
What you wrote, what's it about, and you know, all the other stuff you have.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. Well, thank you very much. Yeah, so we have Lovecraft PI, which is a paranormal investigator, Ward Lovecraft, from the 1920s and 30s. He's a pulp detective that hunts down cosmic monsters in the Lovecraftian world. We also have Zadar the Savage, which we just finished up wrapping book 2 about 2 weeks ago. That's at the printer right now. We have book 1 out. And the covers are done by Simon Bisley, who is known for Lobo, Judge Dredd. Oh, yeah. So he's doing book 1 and 2 for us, and he's working on 3 right now for the covers. And yeah, we've been publishing this stuff for about 10 years. And we have another series called Berserkers Solo Island, which we'll be wrapping up issue 8. And Kickstarter starts for the book 6 on that in about 3 weeks. So,
dude, you've been prolific here. You've been busy. I was like, okay, you got a couple books, and then you started keeping with all the. Oh,
keep going. Yep. Yeah. No, we have. And I was just actually chatting with my graphic artist earlier, so we're going to start doing some little sample books of some stuff coming up for next year. We have a series starting called Miskatonic 7. So that kind of delves into some pulp characters dealing with, Cthulhu mythos and all the other stuff that we're doing with Lovecraft.
So, I've seen paranormal investigators before. What made you go into the Lovecraft, into the Cthulhu world?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of paranormal investigators, and a lot of times it's like, vampires, werewolves, the kind of standard issue. And for us, I've always been a Lovecraft fan, and I just like the stuff that's even more hidden in the shadows and the cosmic stuff that you got to fight, not even just with your hands, but with your mind. And so with our character Ward, he's a pretty ornery dude. He's been through a lot, but he's able to figure it out. And so to watch him try to go through and handle these creatures, there's a lot of fun. And I think H.P. Lovecraft himself, did a lot there to kind of start that. He seemed to really like the pulp aspect of things. He was printed in pulp magazines, Weird Tales and such. And I figure we're just kind of, adhering to what he wanted and just expanding a little bit more on the concept.
I gotta admit, I love what you got. The art looks fantastic. The idea is amazing. I know I'm a little biased because I love noir and I love detectives, but I really like what you have here. And I feel like that your twist is a little different. Like you said, most people go in a different direction with the private investigator who does supernatural stuff. Right. And I like this. And I like everybody who doesn't love Lovecraft.
Right. Exactly. And there's so much to dig from there too. And I mean, just a sentence that he would write, you can just pull from a story. We did an epilogue in one of our books with the crossover of the Miskatonic High Kids, and I pulled that epilogue from a Night Gaunt poem that he had written, which is, half a stanza long. So it's, just in those 5 or 6 lines gives you a wealth of imagery to pull from. So, to me, it's a lot of world to tap,
That is a lot of places to go and a lot of things to do and a lot of things to see. I have a feeling you won't run out of things to actually cover in your world, which means that the detective is going to be busy for a while.
No, absolutely. Well, it's funny because our volume 3 of Lovecraft PI has been taking me quite a few years to do because I've been trying to boil it down. Because every time I come up with a story, I'm like, well, we can go in this direction or that direction, and suddenly it's like, wait, let it gestate for a few months, and then I'm like, well, maybe if we go in this direction, then I'm like in a whole other world. So it's just trying to wrangle that stuff in is the hardest part. It's not even, it's not having just having too much, and just like where to go from. So but that's not a problem at all. I love that stuff. That's the biggest challenge. It's the most fun,
Well, you know, too much is better than not enough, you know, because, you know, and that's my issue as a writer too. Sometimes I got too much. Then you got to boil it down to what you need to do. And that takes some like crafting and some writing in order to get down exactly what you want.
Right, yeah, exactly. And especially dealing with comics too, you know how it is, where you really have to condense stuff tremendously. So in the meantime, we're working on, for next year, either next year or the year after, we're working on an RPG/board game, which we'd like to do. Be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we're also working on short little novellas as well, just to kind of expand the story, because we've got so much material already processed that it would take us years to try to just convert it into graphic novels. So.
Sounds totally a lot of fun. So if they want to find you, where can they go?
Sure, you can check us out at lovecraftpi.com, darksidemedia.us. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. I mean, we're out there everywhere. So Dark Side Media and Lovecraft PI, just either of those, just check them out.
And if you want more, we will have them live on either Apple Bites or the Written Writ soon, so we can actually pick at this, talk about the writing, talk about the aspects of the lore of all this. So join us on either the Written Writ or Apple Bites, because you know you want to be there.